So, Jeremy, can you tell me where it is you came from today for this year's conference?
Yeah, I'm from Seattle. I'm an Agile coach there.
Great. And tell me your story. How or why did you get into Agile?
I got into Agile originally before the term existed. I read the white book at some conference in '99, and it made so much sense to me, and what I was currently doing at IBM just didn't make any sense after reading that book. So I talked to some people, some mentors, and got myself into ThoughtWorks, where I worked for the next 7 years and became a coach. And ever since then, that's kind of the direction of my career. So.
Great. And one of the themes of this year's conference is hunting agile elephants. Can you give me an example of an elephant that you found to challenge an organization?
Sure. So my presentation was actually about how Agile isn't enough. And I think that's a really common elephant, where an organization makes a huge step and decides that Agile is the answer, and then they try to do Agile by the book. And I think that if you're doing Agile by the book, you're doing it wrong. Like you miss the point. It might get you small wins, but you're eventually going to plateau and stop getting better. So I think that's a huge elephant that the people on the ground see very clearly, and oftentimes management, they're just trying to get everybody up to the same level, so it's really challenging for them.
Okay. And can you tell me why it is that you chose the topic that you did to speak on at this year's conference?
Right, so the first reason is just I see it again and again, that organizations and teams, they get to Agile and they think that they're doing enough. They've reached Agile, but again, like I don't think that you can't reach Agile. Agile is a mindset, it's a way of doing things. And I think that one of my particular strengths is that I wear a lot of hats. I dabble in all kinds of different disciplines. So I know a bit about startup, and I know a bit about their constraints, and I know a bit about lean and Agile and design thinking, and just a bunch of stuff. So this seemed like a good talk for me to give, because I could just pull on a lot of those different things and just introduce a lot of things that I found helpful, and that a lot of teams that are trying to go beyond Agile are doing these days.
Perfect. And can you tell me a success story where you've seen an organization overcome an elephant in the room?
Right. So a success story. One of my current clients right now, we were doing experiments, kind of in a lean startup type sense, and we were trying to take these experiments and push them through the organization. This is a very big Fortune 500 kind of organization. So we were getting not a lot of success, as you might imagine. So we sat down with our sponsors and had just a really frank conversation. We actually used one of these tools, Current Reality Tree, and found out what our constraints were. Like we're trying to push, but we don't have enough organizational clouds to really push stuff through the organization. So based on that conversation, which it took, I don't know, maybe a couple months of running up against this elephant, and it's just not working. And finally, we just said, okay, this looks like it's the problem. And by getting it to the high enough level and just make it really transparent how we got to that problem, we started, the whole organizations, or not, the whole IT organization within this Fortune 500 company started actually working on it and addressing it. So, the first thing was, well, let's get some people with more cloud onto the team. Let's find business sponsors for these ideas, and eventually let's change our whole IT organization so that it's easier to push things through.
Yeah.
So it's pretty inspiring.
And you find that to be a common solution, a common step to get sort of higher ups on side to get the process moving along?
I do think one thing that happens a lot with Agile is that it's in the language of developers or project managers, right? So that's where it enters an organization, mm-hmm. And when a pretty big radical change enters at that level, it kind of goes up to a ceiling and then it stops until somebody can take it past that glass ceiling and get it to where management gets it, understands it, and they're willing to take it farther.
Yeah.
So,
perfect. Okay, well, that's all I have for you today.
Cool.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.